Right, there's a survey that Fender did, and it says something like 90% of guitar players give up in the first year. 90% in the first year. Yep, they start to learn to play guitar, and within a year, 12 months, they give up playing. They put the guitar down and never play again. And this is blowing my mind, because new beginner guitar players have never had it so easy, and I've got the evidence. Okay, so I just said beginner guitar players have never had it so easy, and I stand by that. When I first started learning to play guitar, I had an old beat up nylon string guitar, and the action on it was higher than Snoopy Snoop Dogg Dogg. And I had an old dog-eared Beatles guitar songbook with the chord diagrams in it, and that was it. Nothing else. I liked the Beatles, and I knew what all the songs were supposed to sound like. So I sat in my bedroom every night after school and I played that guitar until I could play every song in that book without looking at the music. I'd taught myself how to play guitar, a bit. As soon as I'd learnt how to play my first chord and it sounded like a chord that a real guitar player would play, I was hooked. Nothing else mattered, I just wanted to play guitar. And that was my only guitar for about 2 years until I'd saved the money to buy myself a better one. But I carried on, I did not care. I couldn't afford lessons, I used to borrow music books out of the library, and I used to learn stuff off my other friends that played guitar. You know, they'd learnt off other guitar players. It was a good system. But it was all I had, and I was happy with that. But these days, the mind boggles at the resources that new guitar players have got at their disposal. And yet, still 90% of them give up. Come on, man. Makes me wonder what percentage of guitar players gave up in the first year in the 1980s. Let's look at gear first, alright? So I had nylon string acoustic that was beat up and higher than Snoop Dogg. But these days, for a couple of £100, you can buy a decent beginner guitar setup. You can get a guitar, an amp, a strap, a tuner, a cable, picks, and you can probably get a cheap pedal included in that too. Great! So now you've got everything you need to learn to play guitar. It's time to learn. But you can't afford a guitar teacher. How do you tune your guitar? Oh, YouTube. How do I play an E chord? YouTube. How do I make a bar chord? That's right, YouTube. And once you've got the basics down and you want to start learning to play some of your favourite songs, well, you've got this guy. This is Marty. Well, this is Justin. And these aren't the only guys. There's literally hundreds of guys on YouTube. And the best part is that YouTube is free. If you can sit through the ads. I can, because I'm incredibly tight-fisted, and I make a point of never buying anything that I've seen advertised on YouTube, ever. You spoil my viewing? I ain't buying your shit, bruh. So you have to watch the occasional ad for Raid Shadow Legends or expensive food ingredients that will get delivered to your door every week because you are too stupid to go and buy stuff from the shop. But it's a small price to pay to be let into the secret of how to play Hotel California or House of the Rising Sun. Seriously, put the work in, and within a week you'll be playing at a level good enough to entertain any drunk sitting around a campfire. Or some chicks that don't know any better. So, you've got your guitarist starter pack for 200 quid. You can tune it and you can strum out some decent songs that sound a bit like the record. What next? Well, there's literally hundreds of courses you can take online. Yet, for the price of one face-to-face guitar lesson... listen, I just want to make it clear, I'm not saying that courses are better than face-to-face guitar lessons. I still stand by that. If you can take face-to-face guitar lessons with a proper guitar teacher, then do it. But sometimes it's hard, you don't have the money, you don't have the time, your local guitar teacher isn't taking on students. But courses, there's millions of them on the internet. And just for the price of a takeout meal. Want to learn the blues? There's a course. Want to learn to play metal? There's a course. Want to learn to play taxi cab funk music like Giacomo? What's wrong with you? Why would you want to do that? Have you learned nothing? There's probably a course for that. I don't know. I didn't look. Some of the courses, though, are nearly as good as taking, real life face-to-face lessons. Neil Santos at the Pentatonic Way. I'll leave a link to Neil's course in the description. Neil actually does mentoring along with his courses. And this isn't a sponsored thing, by the way. I'm not getting any money for this. I like Neil, and his course is pretty good. And he's a nice dude too. Hi, Neil. What's that? You can't commit to a course? Well, then there's websites. Want the tabs to just about any song ever written? Whew, Ultimate Guitar. I got a year's subscription last year for £20. And it gives you lessons too. 15-year-old me with Ultimate Guitar would never have left his room if this had been a thing. I'd probably still be there now. So yes, I can say, without any doubt whatsoever, that beginner guitarists in this day and age have it way easier than the beginner guitarists that came before them. So why the hell are so many of them giving up so quickly? I don't know, it could be one of many reasons, or a combination of some of those reasons. They find out that playing the guitar is actually harder than they thought, unless they played Nirvana songs. Or they find out that it's not just about playing the songs, you need to put the practice in. You need some level of dedication. Or they don't think it sounds like they thought it would. Or they can't emulate the dude they saw shredding on Instagram after a year's playing, even though they haven't realised that that guy practices for 8 hours a day, every day, and has done so for the last 10 years. Or he's miming, looking at you, Giacomo. So yeah, turns out I know many reasons why people start playing guitar. But I don't really know anybody, on a personal level who's given up. Seriously, if you gave up playing guitar for anything other than a medical reason, I'd love to know why. Jump in the comments and let me know. Anyway, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to do all that YouTube stuff. Like and subscribe. It really helps get the video out there into the algorithm. If you want to help support the channel, I've got some merch for sale. T-shirts, shower curtains, dog tags, mugs, stickers. It's cool. Go and check it out. And I've also got super chats and memberships available. Everything just goes back into the channel. And don't forget, I stream every Wednesday, 9 PM UK time. Usually just me or me and some buddies. And we're talking about guitars and stuff. The last Wednesday of every month, do a quiz. If you're in the quiz, you've got a chance to win one of my sweet eBay guitar pedals. So come along and check it out. Anyway, thanks again. Take it easy. Peace out.